one good thing, I believe that that's the beauty of art, is to a good artist, a good art, a good piece, whether it be music, a painting, a book, a movie, a play. Good art will take you into a different world. It will grasp you, catch your attention, and it will take you into a different world. That's what I believe, and that's why I started writing, because I was bored and sitting there on board, and I wanted to be somewhere else. So I said I would create my own story. So in this video, I'm going to be reading The End of Rain. I used my book Rain to describe my writing process. So in this video, like I said, I've been reading The End of Rain, but when you start like jotting down notes and taking notes for how you want your book to be structured, when you work on your outline and your character profiles, also think about which way or how you want to end your book. Let's see. There's a few ways to end it. You can do the happily ever after ending, and that ending is where all the readers' questions that arose as they read the story, by the end of the story, those questions are answered. So that's the happily ever after ending, or the resolved ending. All questions answered. That's resolved ending. I'll say in this ending, the reader is satisfied because they know everything. The opposite is the unresolved ending. You have a lot of loose ends, and that's a good ending if you do it on purpose. Like I said, from beginning to end, your story should make sense. Well, not should, it has to make sense. So the loose ends ending will have the reader, they will have some questions when they get to the end of your book. And I use that sometimes. I use it most of the time because I want the reader to use their imagination. So by the time they get to my story, they may have questions as to what happened in this situation or what happened to this character, but I want the reader to use their imagination. So I will use the unresolved ending. The next thing is the surprise ending. You could think of that as like a plot twist. So you led your reader to believe one thing all the way to the end of the book, and then there's a twist, and that's cool too. That's interesting, but like I said, it has to make sense. So it's like for the whole book, you thought the main character was the hero, but by the end of the book, they're actually the villain. But when you think about it, it makes sense. Think about some of the things that the character was doing, the main character was doing, and it makes sense that, oh, okay, I see why you're the villain. So that's the plot twist, or that's an example of a plot twist. Another thing is the tie-back ending. Let's see. The tie-back ending is where you end your story the way that your story started. So, and that's the ending that I'm going to use today. So, I'm going to read the last two chapters of Rain. Now, in this video, I said I believe art should take you into another world. It should make you forget everything that's going on around you. It should engulf you. So in this video, I want you guys to imagine, I wrote this book in the 2000s sometime, or many years ago, but it's set in the 1990s. So let's think about the 1990s. Let's think about what we were doing, what we were wearing, how old we were, what music we was listening to, what was our chapter next to the last, and it's called The Revelation. So in this chapter, I used Rain to describe my writing process, but you will see that she was separated from her father, and she don't know what happened to him. So in this chapter, we find out what happened to him. I had enough money to buy a bus ticket out of Chicago. I thought about Tommy's response each time I told him I wanted to leave this place. He would ask, "Where you going?" I didn't know where I was going. I wanted to leave as if I knew there was a better life for me somewhere else. One night, before I knew it, I found myself standing on the steps of a huge white mansion that was now familiar to me. I was back at Angela's house. She opened the door before I could knock or ring the bell. She wasn't smiling at me. She touched my face and moved some hair out of my eye. "You don't look so good. I've been through a lot since the last time I saw you." She nodded. "I know. Come rest for a while." I followed her to a couch in the living room. She sat down on the couch and rested my head in her lap. I hadn't closed my eyes. I wasn't dreaming. It was like I was watching a movie on a projection screen. There was a tall and skinny man walking down the street. Things around the man became more detailed, and I could see he was walking down 47th. The man, however, remained a shadow. He walked and then stopped abruptly in his tracks. He walked. I felt his fear, but didn't know the source of it. He turned and ran into an alley and hid behind a garbage can. I became him. I looked up into a familiar pair of eyes and couldn't understand why he was pushing the barrel of a gun deep into my chest. "I know you, man," I whined, my voice sounding like Daddy's. Tommy stood over me with an evil grin. He slammed the side of my head with a pistol. "Shut up, man." Tommy was egged on by someone else. "Do it." Tommy pulled the trigger and the life was blasted out of me. I was left for dead in the alley. The vigil was over, and I knew it was about leaving Chicago. It was about getting away from Tommy. It wasn't about leaving Chicago. It was about getting away from Tommy. Angela spoke. "It's always a joyful time when you come here, but I hope it'll be a long time before I see you again. You have to go back." Okay, so that's the end of that chapter. It's called The Revelation, and the revelation is that actually our own best friend is responsible for the death of her father. And it makes sense because if you see Tommy's actions throughout the whole story, he is capable of doing something like that. But it's also a surprise because Tommy's her best friend. So her best friend killed her father. And now she knows why she really, it's not about just leaving Chicago or leaving 47. It's about getting away from Tommy. Alright, so this chapter is called The Dream Revisited. Tommy was a light sleeper. I carefully and slowly slithered away from his grasp without waking him. I moved around the room as quietly as I could, gathering stuff in my backpack. I slowly unlocked the door. As soon as the knob clicked, Tommy sat straight up in the bed. "What you doing?" I didn't answer right away. I didn't want to open a dialogue of me wanting to leave and him convincing me to stay. I had to run, but my heart was pounding and my legs were already becoming weak. Tommy got off the bed and I bolted out of the room, down the long hall to the steps leading out of the building. I ran as fast as I could down the street. I didn't know where I was running. I was hoping for a waiting bus, a train, or maybe jump into a taxi. That is, if one was stopped for a woman running from a man chasing her with a gun. It wasn't long before Tommy caught up with me. I felt him breathing on my neck before he grabbed me by the collar and dragged me into the alley. "Where you going?" Tommy yelled. "You trying to leave me?" He kicked me in my stomach and I started to cough and vomit. I looked up at Tommy. I thought I was going to die like Daddy. Tommy continued to kick and stomp me. My own blood blurred my vision. The beating seemed to last forever. Tommy spoke closely to my bloody face. "The only way out is through death. You want to leave?" I managed to speak through the glass of blood that was stuck in my throat. "Kill me, just like you killed my father, for no reason at all." Tommy snickered mischievously. "Your daddy deserved to die." Strength came from nowhere and I pushed Tommy out of my face. I got off the ground and spit blood at him. My entire body was sore, but still I ran out of the alley onto the main street, which was crowded. Just then, Vanessa moseyed out of the corner store, stuffing lottery tickets into her purse. 3 gunshots pierced the air along with screams and yells of onlookers. I felt each bullet in my back and once again found myself on the ground. Vanessa ran and knelt beside me. She was hysterical. She touched my face before screaming for help. I had closed my eyes and tried to focus hard, but I couldn't make it to Angela's house. I would have to feel the pain of Tommy's betrayal. I didn't want to die on the street because I knew it would upset Daddy. I had to leave. I felt my body being lifted onto a gurney and into an ambulance. An oxygen mask was placed on my face. The ambulance was surrounded by people. Behind the crowd, police were running into the hotel for Tommy. I got one last view of the street I grew up on before the ambulance doors shut. I hope to never see 47th again. And that's the end. So, like I said, I used the tie-back ending. The first chapter of this book is called The Dream, and the last chapter is called The Dream Revisited. So now we know why she was running down the street. She was running from her best friend because he was trying to kill her. So yeah, I used this book, Rain, to describe my writing process and to give tips, and I hope it helps. I describe my process from beginning to end, and there will be more tips and more readings coming from me. So